Hello folks, you join me on what is a sopping wet Sunday, the day after I removed the rocker cover and some of the gizmos on the side and the engine mounts. Hopefully today we're going to take the cylinder head off. As I say, if this gets too bad I might just have to give up and go in. I've got this umbrella with me, nicely set up down here with all my equipment kind of out of the wet, so we'll just whack some lights on with this spotlight from Draper, which is really good. I'm just gonna set it to the max. There we go, and we'll get cracking. Now the first job today is to get that tensioner unbolted. In fact, I've got to take the wheel off anyway, but I'm going to start at this end, so we'll just get straight in there. It is really important that you slacken that bolt first, that 10mm bolt, slacken it off, and then it should turn with a H6 Allen key, which I'm struggling to fit in. Come on, go in, that's it. Right, you see what happens? I'm releasing when we're doing up the time belt. I'll show you again, but basically that pointer and that peg have to line up like that. Okay, so I'm slacking it off completely. There you go, tension off, and we can now whip this belt straight off, he says, but we'll take the tensioner out. Right, now that's off, the bolt's out, tensioner's loose, we can try and get it off. There we go, that's come out. That feels all right to me, but yeah, it's been on there 8 years, so go in the scrap pile, and this belt can come straight off. Right, we'll have a look at the belt. Right, the test is with these belts, you have to do this. And you know what? That's absolutely fine. No cracks, no nothing. And what sort of belt is it? That's what I would like to know actually. Are there any markings on it? No. I can't actually see any markings on it. They're probably worn away. Oh no, we've got something. Hey, I don't know if you can make that out, but it is a Gates belt. That's the belt we're going to be using. These are wicked belts. At least I've got the size, and that's the part number, so I will just double check that out, but I have got one earmarked up with a water pump. It's a water pump kit and tensioner. Right, we'll whip that out of the way. Next one is we're going to get that water pump undone by taking out, I think it's 4 bolts. We'll take them all out and we'll get that lodged out. Looks like they've put some seal on it. It's not entirely necessary. I might use some Hylomar when I'm doing mine. Get these off. Crack that one off. That's come out nicely. Sometimes these water pump bombs have a habit of seizing in, but that's quite nice. That's broken off really nicely. Right, I'll get the rest of them off and we'll whack this out. Even better, get a pry bar tool. One of the reasons I couldn't remove the water pump is because that stud for the tensioner bolt is actually a bolt for the water pump. Take that out as well. 13mm. Essentially it should. There we go. It's gone. The water's just come out. Won't come off its locating dowels very well. No, once I take the rear cover with it, I'll sort out the cover now. There is also a 5th bolt, so you have to take the dipstick tube out the way to access that bolt, and then it should fall out. I think we might have to take the cam wheels off. We'll come to that if we have to. bolt out the way, that dowel is free, so it's still not free. Let me just give it a bit of a, just unwind it back out. Could drop. Let's have a look. Just taking this bolt out now from behind, just where my hand is, so just take this out. And it has duly dropped off. And it's left the seal in place. I'll just take that out. Okay. I think it's clean as it goes through in there, and we'll just discard that and pump. Barely used. Feels fine to me. So you start closing. Right, okay, that's done. Now I think to take this cover off, you need to take the sprockets off, but we'll have a look at that in a sec. Now at the moment I'm going to proceed with caution because the rear cover won't come off unless the sprockets are off, but I'm going to need to turn these sprockets to turn the camshafts, because I believe the issue is you can't get to a couple of the bolts. I think you can get to them, that one is alright. That one, can you see? There's no way I'm going to get to that one, and there's possibly no way I can get to that one. These are the two that you have to turn the camshafts just a little bit. You have to take the locking tool out and turn the cams until you can access them bolts, and then obviously line the marks back up again, lock tool back in, and then just keep releasing the bolts. So we're going to go and release the head bolts. Here we go, guys. Right, here we go. I've got my cardboard. So for reference, guys, the bit that's a bit curvy is that side, the bit that's straight is this side. Okay, and we're going to put the bolts through. That you must do this, you must put the stretch bolts back where they came from. I am going to reuse these bolts unless I see anything obvious. To be honest, some people insist, oh, fit new stretch bolts, they stretch, you can't use them again. Absolute rubbish. Every single person I've spoken to says the same thing. You don't need to replace the bolts unless they're visibly damaged or visibly stretched. In any case, if they have stretched, I mean, the thread from the bottom of the bolt to the thread, it's like that much. Now, if your bolts have stretched so much they won't even thread into the main bearing ladder at the bottom where they go, I think you've got more problems than the bolts. So this is the tightening sequence. We're doing the opposite. Now it says down here, work in the reverse of the tightening sequence, progressively slacken cylinder head bolts 1 to 6. Okay, so we've got to go basically 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now I suspect that access to 2 of them might be difficult, so we may have to move the cams. So we'll go about this as we go along. I've got my E12 bit, so we go 4, 6. This is it. Ooh, that's quite strong. We're going to need a breaker. Where is that extension? Okay. They are tight. They have been in situ forever. Two seconds. I'll get the old breaker straight out. That is tight. go like this. Crap. I'm afraid we've hit some trouble, and it is disastrous. Can you see what's happened? Yep, one of the stretch bolts has rounded at the end. Now I've just smashed around one of those fit-on sockets, and it's just cracked. It's just moved, thank God. But oh my goodness me, these are tight. Now this head's never been done, supposedly, but these are really tight. They've all cracked, but that one rounded on me. I thought, oh dear me, I'm gonna have to scrap the engine. So we're gonna continue to use the brake and the 14mm on that stud, but I think we might have to replace the studs based on the fact that they're just too vulnerable. That one's gonna have to be changed anyway. But anyway, I'll put the camera on the tripod and you can watch me struggle. I will be in the way here because I'm going to need to use leverage of the key. It's gone. It's gone. That is relief. I thought I am in serious trouble now. Now I've released that one and I have had a go at the others. Yes, this isn't to the book. This is simply because of this. But these US Pro 2648. Okay, that's what you get. I've used the smallest. Go and buy you a set. They're not expensive, and that has just saved my neck. God knows I'm going to get it off, but I don't care. Now I've got to try and release the rest of the bolts, so you can watch that now. This is tough. I'm just using the direct, no extension, no wobbly bar. Yeah, that's gone. This one. Oh. Can't get the socket in there, I'll just release this one. Oh no, can't get the socket in there. Right, I'm going to have to turn the cams. Oh, sorry about that, I've just had a faff with moving the cams just so I can actually get that. I will actually show you on camera. But basically, it's now clear of this. I've had to move this quite way around, but hopefully there's no like clashing of the valves and pistons. I'll just, there we go, see, red mark where my finger is. So I've moved it all the way around to clear that. Then we'll bring that back and then do the same with this one here. Sorry, my camera's forward facing. Okay, lovely. They're all cracking off quite nicely now. I'm not exactly following the sequence because of this bolt. I'm just literally slacking them off just a little bit at a time to create even pressure. That is all that is required. Okay, after much using of a breaker bar and a 3/8 adapter, all these bolts are now slacking, including this dodgy one, which we're going to replace. God knows I'm going to get that tool off that stretch belt, but we'll get it off. The most important thing is it's loose. They've all gone loose. Just hope none of them have snapped, but I don't think so. I've been very careful, so we're just going to release all of them. Both the camshafts are in the wrong position now, but I've got the marks to tell me where exactly they are in relation to each other. That's not too much of a problem at this stage. So we'll just take out the rest of the bolts, I suppose. So just again progressively, very nice. Yeah, that's loose. That's loose. Not so loose. It is now. That's loose. That's loose. That's loose. And this one, last one, it is now. Yeah. I think we can say that all these bolts are completely loose now. The only thing, you know that saying? A half-an-hour job is about one rounded bolt away from being a 4-hour ordeal. And it is true. This is the moment of truth. I do say these bolts take ages to wind out. Look at all that WD-40 dripping. It's come out in one piece. Look at all that WD-40 gone right down to the sump. Right, this is the first one. Say the dodgy rounded end. Well, we're going to deal with that, because that cannot go on like that ever again. So despite the fact that right, put that on the floor. He's thoroughly miserable with her today. I really don't want the ordeal of as I say, guys, if you are keen on working with cars, you really do need those nut rounding tools, because they are just invariable, they just bite into the nut. I felt it straight away. I don't tell you, I didn't want to show it on camera, but my God, that was gut wrenching. I almost felt, do I need to scrap the engine now and get another engine for it? Stood out. Okay, all the head bolts looking decent shape apart from the one that is rounded, so that's going to have to be replaced. But to be honest with you, if I'm going to replace one, I might as well replace them all. So this is one of them occasions where you do need to replace the bolts if you've got problems like this. I can't believe how tight that particular one was. I think all the rest of them cracked off with my breaker within like 3 to 4 seconds of effort. Gentle, progressive effort. That one wasn't having any of it, and I felt it slip and I thought, oh damn, I was going to swear then. So yeah, we'll try and get the head off now. Okay, the moment you've all been waiting for, I've just had to move the manifold back off its studs by moving the aircon pipe forwards, like I showed you before. There's really nothing else keeping it on. The exhaust gasket wasn't in very good condition. It's actually, the two metal pieces have split into two, so I'll need a new one of them. Part of the course. Right, now the important thing is this is located on dowels, so we must be very careful. The cover's going to come off as well. It looks like, oh, yeah, that's gone, that side's gone, but this side hasn't, so let's just move it just up. Okay, that's moved off. This side, I might just have to get a crowbar, so if I just lift on that stud, it should theoretically just a second. So be very careful about this. I just lift. It's come, it's come, it's come. Right,
Ready?
this is going to be
Ready hard.
to lift. Right, it won't come off the dowels. That's very interesting. That just came off the side. I'll just shut that down there. Right, it's come off. Ready? Putting it on. Oh. I was tripped up my own jack. Right, let's set this on the floor, well away. Ooh, we've got something to look at. Let me just cut the camera and we'll go and have a look. Okay, right, I have just give it a brief clean up, but it looks like there was a misfire on cylinder number 4, which is this one. Now it's no coincidence that the spark plug was both rusty and there is remnants of rust, big coolant. I can't really see any witness marks, but I tell you what, these liners, I'm going to have a look at these with a very close eye, but I suspect they look about level to me. These liners, this is all going to need cleaning out. But that, God, it locates on these dowels. I think these come with a new head gasket, but we'll just see. But at the moment, very clean. There's nothing to actually keep home about. I will clean this out with carb cleaner very, very gently. Yes, some leaves have gone in there. Don't worry about that. We're going to blow it out with an airline at some point. Yeah, someone who is more experienced than me can possibly tell me where these head gaskets have actually gone. But I'm putting my money on number 4. Yeah. Well, if we come round here and have a look at the actual head itself. It looks pretty intact to me, but again, number four looks actually quite dirty on the sides. If we just peel back this gasket, just gently. Oh, I was wrong. That is not good. Look at all that. I think it's failed in quite a few different areas. Now, yeah, that looks very suspicious to me. Oh, that can't help. That hasn't come off when I pulled it off. Have a good look. Some of you may know more than me about what to spot. Right, let me get that cover off, and that is all going to be cleaned up. I'm going to leave that to drain for a bit. I've got a special drain pan that I used to use for the P6 that will sit in the house. Wow, we've got our work cut out, but we're certainly going to need new bits, so the list is increasing. But I've got a feeling see that one, I felt a ridge there. Yeah, this liner is uneven. I can feel it. That's even, that's slightly above, but that one's more. So I think we're going to have to go for the BW750 elastomer gasket. Multi-layer gaskets are only good when these are all level. I can feel the difference straight off. I don't even have to look with a torch. It is literally not straight. They're not level, sorry. So all this is going to be cleaned up very gently. So there's all this, but I'm going to wrap this in cling film, just give it a bit of a clean gently, and then we're going to go inside because I'm wet. My tools are wet. There's oil everywhere, over there as well. Right, I shall see you soon, guys. Hopefully yeah, what could have been a complete disaster today is turned out to be okay. They're not bad engines. See you soon, guys. Bye bye. Just a quick look while we're in here, just to end this video. This is the mangled bolt. I was very, very lucky to get that out. Very confusing because, well, this is pointless now. I am going to keep some of these head bolts, but I'm going to put them in the dirty bucket outside because I'm going to order a completely new set, because I personally think that one and a couple of the others, they were way over tight, which is very strange because it's never had a head gasket change, but clearly they were over tightened in the factory. There's no way that should ever happen. So I'm going to change these as a matter of course. I've just spoken to a specialist and they recommend changing the bolts, particularly because obviously I need a new one, but you really shouldn't put a new one in and have all the old ones in amongst that new one. You just change them all completely. You'd rather do it once and do it properly. So this is what I'm going to do. Well, 25 quid for a completely new set. So yeah, gotta be done once. We'll give this a clean up soon, but these are going in the bin. See you soon, guys.